welcome to the Craft Brewed Music Podcast, the official podcast of Craft Brewed Music, the home of small batch streaming. Here we explore better music for serious listeners and those who create it. I'm Brian Horner, founder and curator of Craft Brewed Music, and I'm joined by my friend and co-host Aaron Stamen, a Craft Brewed Music artist.
Hello from Seattle. How are you, Brian?
Hey, Aaron, I'm doing well. I'm having a Terrapin Golden Ale, a beer I just discovered at my dad's house this past weekend, brewed in Athens, Georgia, and I think it's going to set me up nicely for the conversation we're going to have tonight.
I'm looking forward to it. I've been spending a lot of time this week listening to Davina and the Vagabonds. I got to say, that is a tremendously diverse palette she has to deal with her vocal stylings, her blends of genres. And I got to say, if you're looking for a soundtrack for a diverse emotional landscape, this is the way to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got Davina Lozier here with us, and we're going to be talking about her work with Davina and the Vagabonds, their catalog of recordings. They've charted in Billboard and toured all over the world, and as you were saying, it's such a unique collection of types of music that I think it's best to let the music speak for itself. So let's take a listen to "Start Running" from Davina and the Vagabonds' live album Nicolette and Tenth.
You've got to see what's coming. You've got to know what is right in front of you. So you better step up, step out, or start running, or I'm gonna be coming after you. I know you're trying to take my man and my money. Girl, that's just what you do. So you better step up, step out, or start running, or I'm gonna make a mess out of you. I know what you want, it ain't happening. Well, I can't, you ain't got what it takes. You can hike that skirt up, girl, no one's looking. Nothing is gonna pretty up that face. Well, you know you ain't got it, I can't have it, I know you want him. I'll beware, girl, I'm a walk-in and I own it, and I ain't shipping. So you better step up, step out, or start running, or you know what I'm gonna do. Come on, boys. I don't care where you are. They said you might be at your mammies or your sisters. Well, no matter where you are, it just ain't too far. No, you ain't got it, I can't have it, I know you want it, you can't touch it. Beware, girl, I'm laughing and I own it, and I ain't sharing. So you better step up, out, or start running, or I'm gonna be coming after you to death. Yes, I am.
Hey, Davina. Thanks so much for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
It's great to talk to you, Davina.
Hey,
we were, we've been talking in the...
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
We're awesome at this.
Okay, I'm going to shut up. You go ahead. You go first.
We are professional
This is
podcast interviewers.
This is the first human contact I think I've had. And it's not even real. So
it's not all that human.
It's not even that human. So
like, humans aren't how I remembered them.
They laugh a
All
lot.
right, let's try this. We'll try this again.
Okay.
Hey, Davina, thanks a lot for being here with us.
Thanks so much for having me. Thank you. This has been fun already. At the go, at the word go.
Yeah, we've been talking in the first few episodes about craft brewed music and how we're kind of all about establishing this genre that's has to do with being in between and across genres. And so, of course, you fall right smack in the middle of that. Um, and so we're that's kind of one of the things we want to focus on is talking about what goes into or what has gone into everything that you are and sound like.
Wow, do we have enough time for that? That's like so much information.
We'll make
You
the
want to get
time.
inside this head? No, we got it. We have to take like 5 hours
Yeah,
for
well, we were
that.
thinking
No,
if we
I'm
could
just
cap it at
joking.
3 hours
Okay.
or so, we could get it in.
Okay, perfect. That'll be
we'll edit.
great.
We'll edit it down to 3.
Okay, good. Yeah, we're really cross genre. That's one thing that we've this well that I've always been, I'm kind of all over the map and I've been a sponge with music, and been surrounded by different types of music. So I, allow that to obviously influence me since it's stuff that went in my ear, and has solidified me as a human with music. So I just kind of don't like being cornered. I don't know. I'm just doing me. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? And that changes just like everybody else,
yeah. I had read, about your parents' collection and how that was an influence on you, and it sounds like that
Sure.
probably set you up for a really kind of diverse approach to your own listening as you went out on your own.
Yeah, totally. But I'm into like of course I'm into a lot of cross era, like different from like the 20s until even now, like I grew up, my brother was an 80s kid, so I grew up listening to orchestral maneuvers in the dark and Bauhaus and The Cure and Joy Division, so there's always
Hmm.
this dark side, some 80s side to me, and I don't know if you can even hear that in there. And then my mom was a folk singer, and then my adopted father was born in 1902. So all of that is kind of just definitely makes me who I am today, and it breathes in everything creatively for me too, not just music, just in so many different facets of my life. So
And were there periods of listening where you went deep on certain things, or was it always like I'm going to go from Louis Armstrong to The Cure in one listening session?
it was probably me going deep on everything. Like if I was going to listen to Led Zeppelin, it would be for 4 years straight. If I was going to listen to, I have blotches of time where I really dig deep with artists, not necessarily genres. So what I dig deep on is the songwriting of Jeff Tweedy and Wilco, and I'll listen to like just Wilco and just Jeff Tweedy for a little bit. And then there's Louis Armstrong, where I'll listen to him and Sidney Bechet. That's true though. Sometimes when I listen to like 20s to 40s stuff, I tend to do like you know Fats Waller and Sidney Bechet and Louis Armstrong and things like that. But it's yeah, I dig deep. I just don't. And sometimes doing shows is hard for me because we're so cross genred. It can be difficult and take me a second because it can be jarring for me. So when I write set lists and doing live stuff, I try to take that into consideration for my own creative being in the band. So we're not like, oh, I know we just did Billie Holiday, but now let's do a CCR cover. Like it just would be really weird. I don't cover CCR, by the way.
Well, you mentioned that that it's not just music; it's that way, kind of throughout other areas of your life. And I'd
Hmm.
love to hear more about that. What are outside of music? What does that kind of diversity look like?
I mean, with architecture, with my like even my bric-a-brac and my tchotchkes, and my vintage clothing and like like I just love older things. I love to touch and be part of history in that way, and so I collect a lot of like turn of the century stuff, and then I also collect clothing from the 20s to the 50s. And I mean, just I wish I could show you I wish you were here. I could show you just everything. I'm a Victrola, I have a Victrola player, but I also have a CD player, you know?
I was just going to ask you, Davina, do you have a Victrola in your house? Because I imagine when I imagine your home, I imagine a Victrola. I'm so glad to hear you say that.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, I just kind of I don't have 8 tracks. I did at one time. And I don't
It's
have
too
do
new.
you remember 8 tracks? Are you guys older or younger than me?
We're older
But
than you.
but
Yeah.
I don't know about that. But so yeah, I'm just kind of always just whatever I'm attracted to visually and audibly and you know, artistically, it always just seems to stem from eras back. And I'm not really sure why.
So what is it right now? What's the thing you're listening deeply to now?
I'm actually really in a rut right now. You've talked to me during kind of a time where, like, what did I listen to today? I actually listened to Ruth Brown. She's kind of like one of the pioneers of R&B. And I listened while I was doing dishes before I talked to you. I only got half of them done because of you guys, by the way.
Sorry
But
about that.
when I
We'll
was,
be over to help
that's
finish
Yeah.
okay.
them.
Okay. Oh, gosh, I'd made a roast and everything, so you got to get some elbow grease. Um,
Uh-huh. I told my daughter to do the dishes when I came up to do this, by the way. I was like, "Hey, do this so I don't
well,
have
I
to
hope
do it
she
when I'm
did
done."
them. Should
I
I
did
give her
too.
a shout out? You better do the dishes,
Yeah.
daughter.
Thank you.
Well, I don't. You're
Daughter.
welcome, daughter. I don't know, right? Daughter.
That's what Brian
But I
calls me.
listened to Ruth Brown. I was really into a Nick Drake
Hmm.
for a good first like 3 months of COVID kind of lockdown. That's not a
Hmm.
good idea when you're depressed, just to listen
Hmm.
to Drake
Right.
over and over again. But I did, and it's fantastic. And you know, it's that time when when you really get down and dirty with these musicians and these artists and these creative beings. I mean, they are your best friend at that time. So, you know, to me, it's important that I have the same vibe as that person. And sometimes I'll even eat that up and you know, make my vibe that person, you know, just because music is so soul changing, you know.
Does that vibe you're absorbing come out in your writing? Are you more likely to be writing a bunch
Sure.
of up tempo stuff or a lot of ballads or
Yeah, I mean, I think so. When I write music, it's never a complete formula every time,
yeah?
you know, but I definitely do write if it lends to what I'm listening to. Sometimes I won't because it scares me that I'm listening to that. I'm going to rip it off,
Hmm.
you know? So sometimes I have to take a break from it and then come back to it. And that's where your like kind of your muscle memory comes in with melody lines. Like your brain, you know, will pick out really what is interests you. I think if you wait a hot minute, you know, I'm not going to listen to like you know, a Louis Prima and then try to write a song with just a jump swing. It would just sound too trite, you
Hmm.
know, it would just sound too much like Louis Prima. So I try to take that times. Um, but there is times that when I have to force myself to write. I don't know if you guys are writers, but sometimes I'll give myself projects. Like I'll write 3 Drive Off a Cliff songs, and I'll be like, I can't write another Drive Off a Cliff song because that's how I'm feeling, you know. So I'll force myself, and I'll even sometimes force myself to write them in specific keys, just to kind of challenge myself, and that can kind of help because you know when you do write and you have to write for an album, that's a lot of feels you gotta push in, you know, and sometimes it helps listening to music, but I don't know, a lot of it's feel oriented for me.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I agree with that notion that when you're having problems with quality, sometimes making yourself a set of assignments for volume of work is important in order to get back on track. And just
it's
having those
really
very
hard to
kind of
yeah, it's
prescriptive, like you're going to
yeah.
do key of E flat, you're going to do three
Hmm.
songs that are absolutely dour and make
Yeah,
people want to kill themselves,
yeah,
and got till Friday.
yeah, good luck and go. But yeah,
So
it's definitely different when you have to force yourself to, you know. But something always beautiful comes out of it, regardless, you know. But well,
now you've
hopefully,
talked about how the band is you know you touring so much, you spend so much time together that it's like a second family or maybe a first family. So that must have really impacted you this past several months when there's not been that outlet. I imagine you're seeing there's fewer vagabonds in your life than usual.
Absolutely. Yeah, when when you go down from when you have what 189, 190 gigs a year to 4,
Hmm.
um there's just so many repercussions emotionally, mentally, physically, financially. I mean,
Hmm.
it's really at this point, what are we going in? Like the 7th or 8th month, ninth month?
Hmm.
I don't even know. Who am I? Like, what day is it? Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it really does. I see Connor. He's my brother, and he's very much so my band family and a forever person for me, you know. And he's the drummer, Chops, and I see him as much as I can. We just did a couple live shows too, and it was so much fun. I don't even know if it
Hmm.
sounded good. Like, who even gives a
It
crap?
didn't matter,
You know
right?
what I mean? It just
Yeah.
didn't. And it does show you the priorities, when you go from this like nonstop hustle, which is literally what I was in for a decade. I mean, that's all I did was tour, um, for over a decade. So, it definitely, this is a weird time, guys. Wow. I don't
Indeed,
know, but,
indeed, it is.
you know, we're getting through it and we'll figure it out.
I'm glad you mentioned your Connor and the drummer in the Vagabonds. The first thing I came across before I even delved into the full recording studio catalog, I came across on YouTube one of your live performances of Louisiana Fairy Tale,
Mm-hmm.
and that is an
Yeah.
absolutely sublime thing that you've created.
Yeah, he's like a really, he's a, I don't know, he's just perfect for this gig, and I think he'd be perfect for a lot of gigs. What I really like about Connor is we kind of came from the same background when it comes to, our wide, like diverse love for roots music. We're both really root oriented. And, anywhere from like, Little Walter blues, to jazz, to like even the Decemberists, which I still even consider Americana rootsy kind of,
Hmm.
so we just have this real love for older music. We always, sing Sam Cooke when we're up front in the van together, and blast, just have fun. And he's just a killer drummer and a killer singer and an
Yeah,
amazing dude. Like, just absolute brilliant human being too. So I lucked out finding him as a friend and a drummer for sure.
We were talking about the continuity between the studio records and your live performances, say on YouTube, and your live record,
Sure.
um, and the kind of uh, drama in your music, um, both visually and musically.
it is a compelling thing. I mean, not certainly when you watch live performances that have video, you can see your facial expressions and the way you interact with the Vagabonds, and it is truly a pleasure to see people enjoying their music and having this cinematic moment.
This is showbiz in a way, so it's hard for me to kind of convey the difference between the passion that I have for the music that I do and how obviously transparent I try to be, um, when it comes to like, these are my expressions, this is my word, this is my story, I am telling you. And I think that, uh, when I'm doing that, to me, I'm hoping that it's honest and it doesn't look like a theatrical moment because I'm trying to exude honesty. Um, and then, there are things where I'll be like, and Connor Chops McRae Hammergren. Like every once in a while, I'll throw the guy's middle name in or something like that when I'm introducing them. And like when we screw around. And I mean, it's not shtick, but, we definitely are having fun. And, and to me, that lightens like the mood when we can have conversations back and forth on stage.
low. Oh, these seem like weeks, weeks seem like days. Go on, blues, and take your evil ways. Who do I talk to? What do I do? The blues took you away from me, and me away from you. The wind blew you in one day, snuffed out the sun and made the sky turn gray. I tried to forget it, but something was wrong. Me and life don't seem to get along. Who should I turn to? What should I do? Blues took you away from me, and me away from you. The blues took you away from me, and me away from you. The blues took you away from me, me away from you. The blues took you away from me, and me away from you.
The Sugar Drops record really struck me in a couple of ways. I loved uh, the sound of it, and it struck me as being very much rooted in your past music, and also very much taking a step, in a step forward in your evolution as far as the sound of it. There was more, to my ear,
Sure.
more pop elements, and there was guitar, and it was on a label, Compass Records subsidiary, that made sense. Compass is a label that does a lot of different things, and so I was curious to have you talk a little bit about that step and some of what went into that.
Well, I busted my tush writing all the songs. I mean, there's a couple covers. I don't know. Let me look. You think I would know what's on it? I did an Alan Toussaint cover, and I did a Bessie Smith cover, and a Ben Harper tune as well. Talk about wide variety of people,
Yeah.
I guess. But those are the covers that I
Mhm.
did. But everything else I wrote and like just busted my tush. And when I went in there, I brought them all, the songs, and Zach and I really worked hard. Each song is really different, but I think that having the guitar on it really threw people for a loop because, out of all of my 7 albums, I had no guitar. I've never played with a guitar
Right.
player ever on stage with the Vagabonds, so that really kind of brought out that. And I am a pop writing lover. Like I just dig writing pop for some reason. Every once in a while I'll just have some weird bubblegum hook and I just go with it. So, I mean, that's just all over the map, just like everything. So that is very much so me. But that guitar and the producing and I think the Nashville sound, I guess, uh, really kind of made it. Doug Lancio, he's Patty Griffin and John Hyatt and Tom Jones guitar player. He's the one who did the
Yeah,
guitarring.
I love Doug's work.
Guitaring? Is that guitaring?
He
Is
guitared
that
and
correct?
guitared.
Guitared and guitaring.
I can't believe I let you go. I can't believe you're gone. I know I'm hard to love, but I thought our love was stronger. I heard what you said. I should have treated you better. Now I know, true love doesn't always last forever. You left with my smile, and for a while I thought that you would bring it back to me. You left with my smile. The only time I get to see you's in my dreams, and I thought I had apologized. I was wrong, I know. Then you opened, you went away. You left me here alone. I guess I gotta find you and bring you back home. I'm not meant to do this on my own.
Todd Phillips was the upright bass player, and I cannot even tell you how wonderful he was as an upright player. If that's one thing that Nashville has, it's upright players, and he did a great job too. And then there's Reese Winan, Stevie Ray
Mhm.
Vaughan, and he played
Oh,
the Hammond
God, yeah.
B3
Yeah.
on Joe Bonamassa, I think he played with. And then Roland Barber, which
Yeah.
isn't in the notes, he played
he's great.
trombone. And he was super, and I liked him. I wanted to hug him, but I think it would have freaked him out. But he's a sweetheart, and he did an amazing job, And then Zach wrote all of the string arrangements for Mr. Big Talker, and so those are live strings, and that's my husband's writing, and he did such an amazing job
Beautiful.
with that. If you
Yeah, fantastic
um,
track. Beautiful.
and and all these songs, they all have a meaning, just like I guess anybody, I don't know, anybody who's writing, I guess all their songs have a meaning, but they each have their own little personality, and I wasn't sure going to Nashville how they would take me, because
Mhm.
that's just how I roll. Like, every song is a gem in itself to me, and
Mhm.
they're so different all the time, but um I feel the vibe is part of the story, don't you, man? Like, I don't know, it's the vibe's part of the story, so that's
Sure.
why I like changing up vibes.
Mr. Big Talker, what a shocker. You've never been in love. You've never been in love with anyone but you. You took her time and you took her dime, and you breathed up all her air. I say your life ain't fair, 'cause all your lies are true. Oh, what's a girl to do? Mr. Talker, you forgot about her eyes. The bluest blue of eyes that can see through your disguise. She'll take what you left and she'll make the best of it. She'll even make it through all you've done. Oh, what's a girl to do?
Well, Nashville's a town that values the song for sure.
They really did, and that was my first, and it was a great experience. It was a great studio. Gary was really kind, um, and I've never worked with a producer before either. I've always self-produced all my albums. Ooh, so that was different for me, to have somebody talk over me,
Hmm.
and that was fine with me. Not talk over me, but make other decisions too. And I had to check my ego a couple times, and I think that
You,
that was a brilliant thing as well.
you
Because
were you were okay relinquishing some of the creative vision.
yeah, like to be honest with you, I told him no guitar.
Hmm.
I fought for it for a little bit, and then I let. And then he goes, "Well, just have him show up. You're gonna love it," in his southern accent. Just have him show up. And I was like, "Fine." I am, and I felt like my punk rock notch just got like knocked down. But then when Doug started playing and I started hearing, he was in the next room next to me at the grand piano. Um, it was just really hip, and he didn't um over accentuate. Like my problem is with not all guitar players, but like they just play all the notes,
Hmm.
all of them, all of them, like
Guitar
at the
players are
same
a real
time.
problem. I agree.
Aaron's a guitar player, and he plays all the notes.
All of them,
I know.
Aaron. I mean,
I
just try it. Just do all at once, all of
we
them.
You spend all that time learning all the notes, like you feel like you're obligated to play all of them.
You're like, I put time into all these
Yeah.
notes. Yeah. But he was really tasty, and he really added just some amazing stuff. So I'm really glad that I didn't continue to be a jerk, and I gave in,
Well,
But
it's a great result. It's a really great record, and
It's a fantastic record.
thanks,
they had a really
guys.
cool step in the evolution, I thought.
What's next?
What is next?
K-pop.
It's a great question, K-pop. So,
That'd be an unexpected direction for you.
Yeah.
so have you been busy writing during the quarantine?
I actually have like 6 songs that I have parts of them written. So and that's really common for me. I don't know why, but I'm like, "Oh, I got this idea." And that's all I got. So, but I'm trying to write as much as I can, and try to. It's been tough. I live in Minneapolis, and we had a huge civil unrest here. I
Yeah.
live 3
Mhm.
blocks away from Ground Zero at like Third Precinct, so I spent a lot of the summer, Zach and I, and actually the Vagabonds too, to raise money to help. Because my Target is gone, our
Mm.
grocery stores are gone, my post office was burnt down. It's been really kind of crazy, and a little bit too overwhelming for me to think clear enough to write about it, because it needs to be
Hmm.
poignant, not just
Yeah.
like my town is burning down, like I'd like it to be
Yeah.
better than
Yeah.
that. And at this point, that's kind of all I can do. But yeah, I'm writing as much as I can. Yeah, yeah, and I'm
It-
liking them, So
So you mentioned you'd be willing to play for us.
we thought we would do Bone Collection. It's
Sure.
off this album that I
Yeah.
talked a lot about.
Great, great, yeah.
All right. So you want a song about my deep confessions, the rivers that drown me in my bone collection. I'll do what I can to make you fall in love with me. You can have my fingers, collect my toes, chew on my secrets and dance on my woes. I'll do what I can to make you fall in love with me. Take the nail out of the coffin. I've got nothing to hide. Just a big old pile of secrets stacked up inside.
Go ahead and take a peek, crack it open real wide. Strap yourself in, it's gonna be a wild ride. I can dig real fast, I can dig real slow, I can shovel all around you, so I'm kneeling below. I'll do what I can to make you fall in love with me. Come on now, people, let me sing you my troubles. You wanna hear it? So grab another shovel. Help me dig up these bones that I've carried along, so I can be on my way. Now, sticks and stones can bend you or break you. Love me or leave me, just know that I want to do anything I can to make you fall in love with me. So you want a song about my deep confessions, the pain and the sorrow and all my life lessons. I'll do what I can to make you fall in love with. I'll do what I can to make you fall in love with. I'll do what I can to make you fall in love with me.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Beautiful.
Sure. Thank you guys. Thanks for being the first people I talked to aside from my husband in 4 weeks.
Well, and we
I need to get out
apologize
more, you
for our
guys.
lack of skill in that regard. Thanks,
Oh,
Zach.
shush. You did great.
Thank you,
They
Zach.
said thank you. Yeah.
Congratulations on the newest album. It has been a joy to delve into that and to your entire catalog this past couple weeks, doing some more intensive listening. Just
Nice.
fabulous stuff.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for being nice about stuff that's important to me. Thank you. I
Of course.
appreciate it.
Thanks for listening. For more Craft Brewed music, visit craftbrewedmusic.com. Please feel free to rate, review, and share the show. See you next time.